Welcome to the Monday night 9 o'clock hangout live stream. As I told you, I would announce it at the bench. Let me turn off the banner here. Let's see here. Turn off the banner. And that looks pretty good. We're going to get the video URL. Where is it? I'd like to get this up on my TV as a monitor, so I'm gonna look for this so I can see 9:12. Let's see if we're running here, and we are. So I'll be able to get that up. Okay, so we're watching it on YouTube now, so I should be able to pull it up on my screen. Where are my remotes? Hang on just a second, I'll get my remotes. I'm working on the OBS software. It seems like we've something's happened here. I'm not. There we go. We've got a lot of power going on here. Let's see if we can get this up here as we go home. I'm going to mute this. Go over to YouTube. Okay, let's go. No, I don't want that. Nothing works when you need it to work. There we go. History. Okay. And live stream 12. That looks like that's working. So. And we got this. I need to turn that off in there. So I just about got this figured out where I can live stream in both rooms. I just need to figure out, let's see here. We don't want this anymore. I don't want to take up too much computing power. They've got a real nice picture on the television, so we're good there. Let's see who's online here. And we turn the toolbox off. I'm sorry that it's taken so long. I just don't know what I'm doing. All right, we're all set. So tonight what I'm going to do is I'm still working on this Continental that I'm going to try to do a blitz on, and I'm going to try to finish it up this week. You would think, well, how the heck am I going to finish this up this week? Well, it's called stick-to-itiveness. So, as I stated on Stunt Hanger, I will run this forum for the first half hour. And if nobody comes on, I'll shut it off and delete the event. If I get people coming on and they want to talk, we can run this till 11 o'clock. I think I can run it 8 hours, but I don't think I could. We might do a marathon maybe for Christmas or something like that. What I'm doing tonight is I'm hollowing and candling And how you candle, you'll notice I just held it up to the light there. You want to carve until it's an even pink all the way around. Then you know you have it at 3/32 of an inch. And you don't want to go too deep. Of course, Bob Giesky said if you don't go through the block at least one time, you're not hollowing it soon enough. But I try not to go through. I'd rather not have to go through the repair. I think we're gonna go flying again. Could be tomorrow, depending on what the other guys want to do. But for sure Wednesday, I'll try out that new muffler I put on there. I have a little put back. Now the airplane's at 56 ounces instead of 55. But that's better than 65. I just hope we got thinking about what I told you the other day on fuel consumption. I was only running 5%, and 5% is going to use more fuel with 10% without the muffler change. And if it was 15%, it even used some more fuel. If you want to be kind of announced, you know, when I'm doing these streams without even having to go to Stunt Hanger and figure out if I'm running them, you can join my circle on the Google Hangout channel, my Google Plus page, and that'll send a message to your phone or ever how you have it set up. I'm not as technically savvy as some of the guys. That's why it's taken me so long to figure out this OBS stuff. I'm still trying to get a hold of Wendy. Left him a message today. We'll see if he calls. And hopefully by then, I'll work hard tomorrow on getting that OBS studio set up. That way we can have an interactive phone call. And he's got a webcam with 2 people. But this operation here is some people call it relaxing. I call it a pain in the butt, but it really needs to be done. Even though the block was light to start, it's always best to make it half as light. I got the top block pretty much well sanded out. I'll show that here in a minute. This gouge that I got here is a little bit big, so we'll see if we can get the pointed one. If I have one even. I know I got one somewhere. Yeah, I do. So these come in different sizes. This one here is a triangle. Let me see if I can pull up the camera controls. So we got that. sometimes it won't let you because I've captured the camera with it. Oh, it did, good. With this software, so it won't let me. So we can go up here and zoom in. And that's a little better. Let's go up a little more. So this triangle gouge will get into the area, the smaller area, much better than that big round half-inch gouge. I'm thinking about these hangouts. We'd only do them Monday, Wednesday, and Friday instead of every night. They're a lot of trouble to do. Trying to keep you guys entertained. Got word on the shirts today. They're not going to be ready till the 27th. And Gildan, I went down and I paid for them today. I paid for the shirts, but they're not going to be ready till the 27th. And Gildan quit making the yellow shirt, so they discontinued this shirt. So we went with a different style of shirt. I can't remember the name of it. Same blend and same quality. So we'll see how that goes. Just I told the guy, pocket tees, no mistakes. You're not going to get paid for them this time. You remember I had a small run of T-shirts that they didn't have pockets. Let's see why we're not getting anybody in here. Read one time. 7 times. So we probably got some people watching, but no participants. We got 5 viewers. Welcome everybody, but I need somebody in here to talk to me because it's too hard to talk to myself. So the zen of wood carving. That's what I got going on tonight. You'll notice I have a pen line there. I just use the finger method and I get kind of low there. The lighter the peach color is, the thinner it is. I don't know how many guys, there's some guys who watch my channel who have little experience. Yeah, that's who the channel's really for. And there's some guys who watch my channel who have a vast amount of experience. So what I do is I have a 80 grit on a dowel, and 80 grit, this is a spindle sander drum, and I just wrapped around the 80 grit on here. You can use a dowel or a bottle or whatever you can get a hold of that's around. Let's see, we need to go down now so you can see what I'm doing here. So camera control and down. Let's see how it looks on television there. Yeah, there we go. So I'm just sitting here leveling all the cuts up that I made. And I don't know how many people saw my Supermarine, the S6B that I designed. I sanded the inside of that airplane I think I even got it down to 600. It was slick in there. I think I went a little overboard on sanding, but that airplane was fairly light as well. It was 59 ounces with 66-inch wingspan. And how I ended up 66 instead of 60 was I added 3-inch tips instead of 2-inch tips. So let's get some participation. I got 7 viewers watching now. I guess it's better than watching television, but I need somebody to talk to. This is a question and answer forum. It's not just a watch me work type deal. I'm going to talk to Daryl, seeing that he is a RC guy, and see if we can't get him to run an RC section of Stunt Hanger. I got my AMA renewal today. 75 bucks. What a joke. I also, when I'm doing this, not only do I candle it, I weigh it. I'll get the scale out here in a bit, and we'll get a weight on it. Each time I sand it, I'll try to get 1 gram off of it. And that's how I get them down, you know, just one more. And you keep pushing yourself to see if you can get a little lighter. And depending on how much time you want to spend on this stuff is how light you can make the airplane. There we go. What's going on?
Not too much, Sparky.
Good.
Looks Continental block, I take it?
Yeah.
Sorry I couldn't get on yesterday. For some reason, the link had disappeared, and I left you a note. How'd the Junar fly?
It flew real good. The reason why you couldn't get on is I only stayed on for an hour and a half, and it probably came on too late.
I thought I was within the time, but I couldn't find the link. It hid.
I'm going to be announcing it on the at the event part of the forum from now on, because I don't want to clutter up the open forum with announcements.
Yeah, that works for me. Anyway, anyone else been on, Chris or anybody yet?
Nobody. I've been running now 10 minutes.
Okay. I was fighting, trying to win some stuff on eBay, and can't win for losing right now.
What were you trying to win?
The first thing I missed bidding on in the last second was a couple 3 engines to repair or parts, one of which was a Super Tiger 60.
How much did it go for?
I think like $50, $60. The other one was a Weber 61.
You don't need that.
No. And the last one was that K&S silk span that was on there. In the last seconds, that went up by $30.
How much did it go for?
I think $56 for 14 sheets.
They can keep it.
Yeah, because it was sitting at 29 forever, and I tried to bid 30 within the last 15 seconds, and it basically doubled my 30 or almost.
14 sheets, I'll pay $14 for. Any more than that, they can keep it.
Yeah. I do have a question. If you get the silk span or tissue from Easy Belt, the sheets are so small. they're not long enough to cover half a wing. How do you do that so it looks decent?
You don't. You get the right shit.
Yeah.
Get it from Rodak.
Yeah.
You got to cover each panel in one continuous sheet.
Yeah, I thought so. I didn't see any way you could make them work any other way. You'd be twisting it.
I would imagine I could make it work, but I wouldn't feel comfortable for strength-wise. I mean, you could end right on top of a rib and, you know, go over that way, but I think I would rather just get it from Rodak and
Yeah. Make it work.
now, polyspan is an alternative.
Yeah, I've got a roll of that. How much heavier is polyspan than silk span, though?
If you look do a search on Google for Dan Winship models.
Yeah.
He has a chart if his website's still open.
Yeah.
He has a chart which each covering material weighs: monocoat, Jap tissue, silk span, polyspan. I should copy that chart in case Dan decides to shut that site down.
Okay. What was that site name?
Search Dan Winship, WINDSHIP, Winship models,
Okay.
and look for his finishing section. And I remember, it's been a long time, but if I remember, you had that chart. I probably should copy that, like I say. If it's still there, let me know, and I'll copy it and get it for Stunhanger.
Yeah. I sure will.
I haven't talked to Dan in 10 years, probably.
Yeah, I saw the thing at the open forum on the delay on the stunt news again. Bob can't seem to win for losing the last couple
You know,
years.
Bob is a busy guy.
Yeah, not so much that announcement on why it's going to be delayed some more. The gal that finishes up for him to get it online had her mother get hit, have a bad accident, shattered her hip. So there was a thing up there from Bob to keep them in prayer, because her mom's in her late 80s.
Yeah, the gal that does that works at the AMA.
Yeah. And right now she's where she needs to be. She needs to be with her mom till her mom's out of the woods. Hopefully.
Well, I wonder if I got this down to ½ ounce. I'd like to get her down to ¼ ounce, but
that'd be awfully fragile, I would bet.
well, you can do a lot of things, but depends on how delicate you are with your models. You know, you got to kind of make them to survive more than a minute.
I know for a fact I couldn't do one that light and have it survive if I can't quit breaking wing ribs. Every time I go to building a wing.
Let's see what it weighs. I'm thinking about doing these at the benches Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
That'd work for me. Whatever works for you.
0.45. Let's see if we can get it down a little lighter.
Huh, you got it below half.
Well, it ain't like I'm making any money doing this, so.
I wished I could do more to support you, but
That's all right.
I think I'm going to step out and grab a cup of coffee, and I'll be back.
All right. Well, that got dented. Oh, well, it don't matter. The Zen of Sanding. So, for you guys just coming on board in here, we got one participant in the chat. We can have up to 9, I think. I guess Chris don't love us no more.
Yeah, he had been on in a few days.
Well, Daryl in Canada, he might come on. I don't know.
Yeah, the little bit I saw you were talking to somebody last night, but I couldn't get on. I did type in the chat box.
That chat doesn't work. I can't see it.
Yeah.
That's a flaw in their system. I have it opened up.
And it doesn't come up.
Well, it comes up, but when you type in it, I can't see it. So
It comes up to them, but it doesn't get to you where you can
Right.
see it.
see this Hangout deal is being transitioned over to YouTube. So I don't think they have all the kinks worked out of it yet.
Oh. Is it still going to be through Google directly or
No.
YouTube? It's going to be straight YouTube. That'll make it easier for people to get on, hopefully.
Yeah, they need to get on, but we're going to lose a little functionality, I think.
That could be.
Which I don't know because, I'm new at this. I'm still trying to work on OBS software. And so I can produce a regular, like a television program. And I can't quite figure out how to make it work yet. The tutorials on it on YouTube, they go through so fast I can't keep up.
Yeah, that I've noticed with a lot of them on there. They blast through stuff and you can't pick up anything. Or you catch enough to get you, in my case, I'll catch enough to get me in trouble.
Are you doing any building? Have you worked on anything? Thinking about it won't get it done.
Yeah. Looks like somebody's trying to get on.
Yeah,
Rusty.
Yeah, hey, that's me. I had to try a few times before I clicked the right button, so this is my second try at this, but I had a pretty good time last night, Sparky. Enjoyed talking to you. We got cut off kind of early, so I never, got to thank you and say goodbye, but anyway, that was fun.
Yeah, the stream just dropped. I also got a 49-foot cord now that I plugged in that I can take the camera and I can walk around the shop here. So when I start doing some of the other stuff, I can move the camera around.
Well, I figured you had a Bluetooth microphone clipped under your beard or something like that.
No. Is my mic sound all right?
Sounds fine, yeah.
Hey, you're coming in good and clear tonight.
Yeah, I just bought this inexpensive Logitech webcam on Saturday and tried it out last night for the first time. It works pretty well.
We got somebody else coming in here. Who is this?
This is Charles Carter.
Charles, how you doing, buddy?
Doing well. Good to see you again.
Yeah, well, all I see is an airplane from you.
Yeah, I see that. I need to see if I can fix my camera.
Just go up to the top, take your cursor, go up to the top, and there'll be a camera and a microphone, and click the camera, and it should come on.
Okay, let's see here. I'm working on it. Camera problem. Let's see here.
When I first clicked the link a few minutes ago, it took me to YouTube, and all I could do was watch you, and then somehow I managed to get back here and log in.
Okay, I probably have problems with my camera, so.
No, listen to what I'm saying. Take your mouse and take the arrow and just go up to the top of the screen.
I see it.
Okay.
There's a line through my camera. There's a line through it.
Okay. The next thing that you can do is you take your mouse and let's see here. Go to the top and you see the gear up there, settings?
Yes.
Click on settings, choose camera, and then select your camera.
Yeah, there's still a problem with my camera. There is a problem with my camera.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me see if I can fix it another way. Or else you just got to hear me for a while.
You can also unplug it and plug it back in, or you can Control R and refresh the window.
All right.
Computer stuff.
Yeah. Charles, you're the one who did the movies for me at Rodax, right?
That's right.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yes. Let's see here. Hardware.
Hey, Dad.
Hey, baby. I'm busy.
Are you watching a video?
I'm actually on it too. I'm trying to fix my. Can you excuse me?
How old's that kid?
Oh, my daughter is 12.
12-year-old, what's her name?
Desiree.
Desiree, help your dad out. He can't.
That's pretty good. Ordinarily, you'd be right.
Oh, I'm sure I'm right.
Yeah. Let's see here.
Well, at least we can look at your airplane, Charles.
Yes, that's actually a modified score. That's the modified score ARF. Looks like a sort of Cobra.
Yeah,
It's
nice
from,
action shot there.
Yeah, I got that from Walter Hicks.
Definitely sharp.
Yeah, it is. It has a double star 61 rear exhaust in it right now.
That sounds like plenty of power.
Yeah, well, those scores are pretty heavy. You know, I have 2 scores, and the one that I did weigh, not that one, but another one is 76 ounces.
Wow, that's out of my league.
They're pretty heavy. I was once at a barbecue, and someone shook my hand, and a friend of mine who was right next to me, he commented after the person said, "You have quite a strong handshake." And my friend said, "That's because he flies heavy airplanes."
Yeah, I had a 72-ounce Magnum, and it used to walk me off the circle on windy days, and more than once I rolled the wheels at the bottom of an hourglass.
Wow.
They presented me with that plane when I won beginner for the first time in Huntersville. It was from the Norfolk Aero Modelers. John Tate gave it to me, and it was built by one of their deceased members named Mike Garman, and my intent was to treat it as a gift, a loaner, and clean it up, fly it, have some fun with it, and then pass it on to somebody like they did to me, some up-and-coming stunter, and I ended up wrecking the plane, and that was probably the saddest day in my entire control line life, because that is not the way the story was supposed to end.
No.
Yep.
Hate it when that happens.
Yeah, but it is a control line plane. Everybody else understood. I was the one that was so distraught over it, but they all took it like, hey, it's a control line plane. Already had 2,000 flights on it, so anyway, I'll get over it someday.
So,
Someday.
Charles, have you been following all my videos? And
Oh yeah, I've been checking in on them. I enjoy them very much. They're very helpful.
how about the Hangouts? You just now figuring it out, or what?
Yeah, well, you know what is time management. I usually will get on my computer and realize, oh man, I missed it. You know, that's happened more times than I can count. Because I'm out here in the West Coast, so I'm on Pacific Standard Time, so I always have to allow for that.
You know, you can watch reruns on YouTube, right?
Oh yeah, no, I've been catching those. I've just been meaning to do a live one like today.
Yeah.
But I'm in my device manager, so I'm still pursuing getting the camera to work. So just bear with me.
You got the driver for it?
That's what I'm trying to ascertain and see what's going on. So don't mind me. I'll keep fooling around with it while you still are communicating and enjoying yourselves.
Are you
If all
gonna
else fails, reboot.
again?
I didn't hear what you said, Sparky.
Are you gonna be at Brodax again?
I don't know. I'm not planning on it. That was kind of an expensive trip for me. I ordinarily can't do that. My next big contest hopefully will be maybe the Nats next year. I'm definitely going to the Golden State Stunt Championship next month out here in California. I'm looking forward to that. I'll be flying in advance.
Well, I hope to see you at the Nats next year anyway.
Yeah, I hope to.
I went to the Nats twice this year.
Wow.
Kind of a busy year.
Yeah.
That's the same thing you were carving on a couple of nights ago, Sparky.
This is the bottom. I was doing the top the other night. Yeah, I've taken this down and I've got it almost down to 1/4 ounce now. It's 0.35. I think if I get it down to 0.3, I'll be happy. This is an airplane I'm building for a fella I'm going to try to deliver at the end of the month here, so I can go to work for him and make a few extra bucks. But if I'm going to do it, I got to get on the stick. I got to work on it. And when I get this done, I got 4 airplanes to paint, and I can start building my 2 new airplanes for next year.
Your other Junar and that, what was it?
Chipmunk.
Chipmunk.
I haven't even designed the chipmunk yet, which it won't. What I'm going to do for that is I have some free views in a PDF. I'll take it to the printer and I'll say blow it up. Ever what percentage I need to have the 60-inch wingspan, and so I can get the side view and the construction itself. I'll just wing as I go. Can't remember who was asking me. Oh, it was Chris. that his name? I can't remember. The other night he was asking me how to scale up an airplane. Well, I don't use plans. I just, you know, I built so many airplanes, and they all build the same.
We've got a new member named Chris, and I'm pretty sure it's not the same Chris you're talking about, but he reminds me so much of me when he's trying to learn beginner now, and he does what I did. He rebuilt a nice Oriental ARF somebody gave him and took it out and made it, and after he finished a nice beginner pattern, he started flipping around doing freelance triangles and plowed it into the ground on its maiden flight and just bashed it to pieces. And I'm thinking, boy, how many times did it take for me to learn not to do that? That was an old half-A habit that hung over. I had to shake off a lot of bad half-A habits, and one of them is freelance flying.
Well, you saw on my first flight on my Junar, I didn't go through the pattern because that's pretty tough. I did most of the pattern, less the reverse wing over.
You did a surprising amount with it. It was a pretty good flight, and then you got flying over pavement too. I guess maybe you're more used to that than I am, but I still am not accustomed to flying over it. It doesn't seem to bother me much when I do, but I do know in the back of my mind if you hit pavement, it's a lot worse than hitting grass.
Oh, my dad had his hobby shop in California. The Ollie's parking lot was pavement. So when I was a kid, I learned how to fly off pavement. I don't like flying off grass.
Back when I was a kid, I used to fly my plastic coxes on a clay baseball field, and that's about as bad as pavement.
Yeah.
They used to have a contest. What the heck was it? What the hell was not New Mexico? It was a clay circle. What the hell? Down by Kentucky, but it wasn't Kentucky. Down there. Indiana, I don't know. No, it was north of here. I mean, south of here. And that was Byron Barker's field, but I can't remember the name of it. And they had a clay circle there. That wasn't bad. I don't like all the dirt and all the grass and all that. When I go to the Buddha Park, I don't like setting my airplane on the grass. I'll set it on the pavement. I don't like the lines in the grass.
Yeah. When we crank them on the grass out at Fort Jackson, we usually hold them in the air until the pilot's got the handle in hand and then set it down and let it go. And that's the reason I run muffler pressure too, mainly so I can have a closed loop and it won't suck in little dry grass chips and that sort of thing.
I can see that.
Guess Charles ain't got it figured out yet.
Not
I hear
yet.
it.
I think I'm missing the drivers. I've never used a camera before, so this is the first for this laptop. But I'll figure it out.
What, is it a built-in camera on the laptop?
Yes.
Huh. Shouldn't be missing drivers.
No, it wouldn't be. So what I think you need to do is, like I told you, see the gear up there and drop down and select the camera. There's 2 drop downs for that.
All right, let me try that again. But it said there's a problem with the camera when I went there.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, I have
Yeah.
2 cameras here. Let me see if I can switch cameras. Let me take the tape off here. Yeah, see, I just switched cameras. And you see what I mean? I went from one camera to the other.
I see. Yeah, I have just the one camera on my laptop, and there's a problem with it.
Oh, well. Get it,
Yeah.
get it figured out for the next time. At least you can talk to her.
Yes, exactly.
I know what you look like anyway.
That's right.
You do, but we don't.
Well, check
Nobody
out
needs
the Brodak videos.
videos.
Yeah, go to the Brodak video and look for the shop tour, and he'll be the only black guy there.
That's right. That's right.
Maybe I do know what you look like. I think I watched that video. That hobby shop is something else.
That's not the
Yes,
hobby
it really
shop.
is.
That's not the hobby shop. That was the plant.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute.
Whatever it was, that's quite the operation.
I think well, who was that guy's name? What was that guy's name, Charles, that you took a finishing? You did a finishing interview.
That was at Gary Lutz.
Yeah, that was the hobby shop.
Yeah.
The other was the plant where that Charles did, which turned out very nice, by the way. Thank you for doing those videos.
It was my pleasure. I just wanted to document Brodak because I thought it was going to be one and done. You know, so I really took advantage of everything I could do to document it, to remember it, enjoy it.
It's definitely a trip, and everybody's so nice. You know, it's control line people are a whole lot different than RC guys, I think.
That's been my experience too. They're the best people.
Well, I gotta.
The RC guys out at my Fort Jackson club, although they're dwindling now, they mostly come out and set these giant styrofoam planes out on the concrete pads on the pits and then sit on the bleachers and eat Doritos all day.
Somebody got a phone call, or we got somebody else coming in?
I don't know.
That was me, Sparky. Sorry about that.
Oh, that's all right.
It's a shame your camera's fighting with you. I wonder what's up with that.
He needs to give it to that 12-year-old girl, Desiree. She can fix it, I'll guarantee it. And if it was a game or a Barbie or something like that, it'd be done in 2 minutes.
Kids are so much more adept at this stuff than people like me.
I wish I had a kid that lived around here that well, see, you gotta be so careful, you know. Let's say there was a kid around here, I really wouldn't want him up here with me without his parents because you never know what's gonna happen. I don't want to get him accused of something stupid.
That is true.
Yeah, it's a shame that's such a worry now, but it's the truth.
When I was a kid,
Completely messed your life up.
when I was a kid, all the guys that flew model airplanes were 50 years old. And, you know, I'm talking when I was 12. And I was always hanging around. What are you doing? How come you're doing that? You know, pestering the hell out of them. But in those days, there was none of this, you know, molesting crap going on. And,
Or we just didn't hear about it.
huh?
Or we
Or
just
lying
didn't hear
about it to get a lawsuit. Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. Parents used to put us out to play, and if we didn't come back from supper, that's about when they'd start wondering where we were.
yeah, it's daylight, go outside and play. I'll see you when the street lights come on.
That's what I remember too.
Now the gangbangers here in town are running around until 3, 4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, they're all those such lovely people, aren't they?
Well, you know, if there were more,
Because they were taught to be people.
You're exactly right. That's a good way to put it. They were never taught to be people or to have knowledge and respect for others, but they were taught to have no self-respect.
Here's where I'm at. Next door on this side is a black family. I don't associate with them because they are bourgeois. This side of the street over, this guy behind me over here is a white dude, and he's a hillbilly, and my only friend lives across the street, Tony, and he's a black guy. We hate those gangbangers down the street, and we'll go down there and clean up the mess. Any shit goes on. They're black guys down the street think they're gang members, and they ain't shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you on that too, Rusty. It's not even so much they weren't taught to act like people. They also have no self-respect or respect for anyone else.
Self-respect is from where respect for others stems, you know, so.
It's their parents' fault.
Yeah.
That's the problem. I mean, there's no dads. You know, before it was the exception to not have a dad at home. You know, back when you're not growing up, the exception was a single parent. Today, the exception is having a dad, a father at home. That's the exception. And without a dad, these kids, white, black, orange, green, whatever, aren't learning morals. Because that's what dads do. Dads show kids morality and what's right, and teach them how to behave, teach them how to be responsible.
Mm-hmm.
My friend across the street and I were out front one, I don't know, last summer. Not this year, it was last year. And here these gangbangers come down the street and they got their pants hanging down around their ankles and their butts are hanging out. And I yelled out, "Hey, pull up your pants. If the cops are chasing you, you'll never be able to get away." And then Tony says,
Yeah.
do you guys know what pants down your ankles means? That means you're a fag looking for some action.
Trolling, yeah.
That's true. That came from jail. It's so funny that's how the guys in jail, the guys who were homosexuals, that's how they advertised they were available. And I don't know how these other guys adopted that as being cool when it's ridiculous.
Yeah. It's gross. I could have gone all day without hearing that.
Yeah, well.
So it is.
All the young people are doing it. I mean, it's not even, it's cross all racial lines. I mean, young people are wearing their pants loose. I see everybody doing it.
I just said, hey, if the cops are coming, how are you going to get away?
That is true. I think it's stupid.
You couldn't trip over them.
Think they're gangbangers. That's funny as hell.
Let's see here. I am.
Where do you live, Charles?
I live in Escondido, California.
Okay, so we're a long way away. I'm in South Carolina, Columbia, South Carolina.
Escondido, I used to run my my dragster up at Carlsbad.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I know a few gearheads that do that kind of stuff.
I was a backyard racer. I didn't have a budget. I just had a 67 Camaro with a 4-bolt 350 small block, and I got it running in the high 12s out at quarter-mile track, though. So not bad for just throwing parts at it and throwing what little bit of money I had at it. Had a big time doing it.
When I was in the Navy, I was stationed at Miramar, which is pretty close to Escondido.
Yes, it is.
And Carlsbad was pretty close to there. And I built a 34 Ford 5-window coupe with a 427 rat motor and
Mercy, yeah.
10 4500 Dominators, and had 513 gears, go about 45 miles an hour on the freeway.
That's what mine had, a 513 in it, too.
But it would turn 10 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That 427 was the most powerful production engine there was back then, as far as I know.
I ended up twisting the frame on it, so I sold it.
That kind of power is going to twist a frame.
It would carry the front wheel down the quarter mile, left front wheel. Whole length.
Wow.
They make turbo 6-cylinder Camaros today that would blow some of my old hot rods off the road. It's just come a long way.
Believe it or not, back in those days when I was playing with cars, there was some Volkswagens that would blow you away. 2180 Volkswagens, and they'd go 10 seconds.
I got
Wow.
terribly embarrassed one of my first times at the racetrack by a Volkswagen. Looked like a 63 VW somebody had used for a fishing car, and I pulled up next to him with my snorkel on the hood and smoking the slicks and looked over there at him and grinned, and when the light turned green, that some bitch was down at the other end of the track cooling off.
Yeah, I seem to remember there was a whole group of people that really know how to get a lot of power out of that little 4-cylinder air-cooled thing.
When I lived in West Covina, which is LA area, you know, when I grew up, this is about 1968, 69. I'm pretty sure it was before 69 because Gil didn't have his Roadrunner yet, but there was a guy who lived across the street who was a lowrider, and he had a 64 Impala,
I love those, yeah.
and it was called Three-Way Love Affair, and it had 3 deuces, a 3-speed, and this car was so fast. It was just unbelievable. But you think lowrider, it can't be fast. Your ass, it was real fast.
Wow.
You were saying 64. I was thinking the last year of one of my favorite engines. First car I ever drove before I was legal because my mom couldn't see over the dash of this station wagon was a 63 Impala wagon with a Muncie close ratio and a 409 in it. So you can tell I'm definitely a gearhead.
A 409, was that a small block?
No, the boat anchor.
What, the 409? That's
Yeah,
a good motor.
big head, wide block thing. It's huge.
Oh, let's see here. Where is?
Charles is still trying to figure his problem.
I am. I'm working on it.
Yeah.
Gonna give
I
up.
saw something flash for a minute that Tom was trying to get on too.
Tom keeps
there's
trying. Yeah, Tom keeps trying, but for some reason we never can hear him.
Yeah.
But you can see Tom, right?
No,
Okay.
You can see his him standing with an airplane, I think.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
what I see.
I don't think his internet connection is fast enough to participate. You got to have some pretty good internet speed.
What does my name say on your end? Does it say Rusty, or what does it say?
There's old fart with glasses. No, it says Rusty.
Okay, that's all you need to know.
Yeah, mine says Rusty too.
It does.
Charles can get that camera to cooperate.
I see Rusty and I see Michael and Thomas. And then you for me.
What does mine say? Stunt hanger or Sparky?
Actually, you're just the big screen, and everybody else is a little small in the lower right corner of the tray.
Yeah, last night every time I would talk, my face would get big. But well, yours is right now. But Michael, but mine, I hadn't seen mine pop up.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're big on mine right now.
Yeah.
Every time you talk, whoever's talking is who's got the screen, this big screen.
I see.
I see. Yeah. So
Okay.
Sparky, yours says stunt hanger.
Good. That's who I am, stunt hanger. This is really, it's starting to take off and be a success.
Yeah. It's enjoyable. It was enjoyable the other night when I got on with 2 or 3 others.
What's that in the box in front of you, Sparky? Is that a box of your carving blades or what?
Yeah. We got 8 watchers too, so we got plus 8 watching.
Sorry about the trumpeting, but something's messing with my nose here in Colorado.
You know, telling what might be in the air in Colorado.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, you might get
I'm
high.
in the very south end of Colorado, off
So
of
you might get
I-25,
high
about
over there.
10 miles. So yeah, I know all about it. There's big city here has maybe 5,000-6,000 people and 20 pot shops, 20
Yeah.
plus pot shops.
Hey, let's go over the molded pieces. This is my new airplane here. Molded bottom and molded top, and these two pieces together are 1.45. I molded these.
Wow.
Wow.
These two pieces here together are 1.50, 5 grams or 5/10 different. So I'll keep sanding on this till at least they're that weight right there, and we're in there. Because I know the guy that's been waiting for this airplane, he wants it to be light and straight and all that good stuff, you know. And he's been waiting for a year, so I got to make it good.
Yeah. I don't know if anyone else has noticed on eBay, on the control line stuff or so forth, there's that listing for how to mold balsa that was based off of Sid Axelrod in the super forms.
I didn't notice.
I'd seen it a few times. I'm about half tempted to get the thing. It's $5.99 with plus shipping.
Why would you do that when I've showed you 10 times how to do it?
Yeah, that's true too.
What is it? Just a bunch of forms that you can get to wrap it around when you wet it? Wrap it down?
I think it's a book explaining, but like Sparky's done,
Yeah.
but how I didn't know that the super forms were done that way. The top flight kits.
You can mold balsa wood. Molding balsa wood's been around 100 years probably. Molding wood is tight. I also talk about steaming. I don't know if you ever heard me talk about it. You can steam wood like can't believe. There we go. Yeah, that'll be fine. So I got these two pieces done. I guess I can work on this. I had to remake him a this is the elevator stabilizer. It's already doped. I had to remake an elevator because this little tang busted off the other one. And you can glue them back on, but it's kind of half-assed, so just make them a new one.
I have a question, Sparky.
Okay.
I have a Strega ARF that I'm working on, and right now it's still in pieces. What I mean by that is nothing's put together to make it one unit. So I'm curious about my wing to make sure that there's no warps in it. What would you recommend I do to make sure that there's no warps in the wing?
Okay. Get somebody to help you. Is it covered or not?
Yeah, it's covered with film.
Okay. Get somebody to help you and have them hold the wing. Let me get a wing over here and I'll show you.
Hey, Chris.
Hey. Okay, can you see this? I'm holding the wing here.
I see.
Okay, have your friend hold the wing and look down into the wing. So you're looking from the leading or the trailing edge to the leading edge, and imaginarily sight down into the wing. And you don't want to see more over the top or over the bottom. You want to see equal amounts. That's one way to look to see if it's in a twist. Then sight down the trailing edge to make sure it's not a snake.
Okay.
So Chris Rudd showed up?
Yeah, he was here a minute ago. I see his little picture.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I'm cutting stuff on the jigsaw, so I had myself muted.
Oh, I see.
I don't think
Well, let me give you a little bit of a flight report on what's going on with my airplane. Went out to the field, flew it, filled that tank up, and the airplane ran 10 minutes.
Wow.
So I sucked an ounce out of it, and the airplane was still 20 laps over the end of the pattern. So I know I'm not making any power. I was running a 5.2 lap speed too, not making any power. So, but that was only 5% nitro. So I'm gonna next flight out, I'm gonna go to 10%. But I took the tongue muffler off. It was at 55 and 55.30 with the tongue muffler, and I put the tube muffler on. I don't know if you can see. You can, yeah, tube muffler.
watch the videos.
Pardon me?
I already watched the videos.
Oh, you did. So now it's at 56 and a quarter. So
Yeah, you're famous. I watch you. I stay in touch.
yeah, real famous. You know anything about OBS software?
I know about the motor.
Not OPS, OBS.
OBS, open broadcast.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out. They go through the tutorial so fast on YouTube, I can't figure it out.
I'm gonna cut some things out. I'll talk to you guys in a second.
Okay.
I don't know what's with Chris's connection, but it's got a lot of delay and I can barely hear him.
I think he's on wireless in the garage. I don't know.
That's actually what I'm on my
Yeah.
laptop.
I'm on wireless too, but the modem is only, it's probably 20 feet away downstairs.
Yeah, that's how it is with me with this laptop. It's just in this bedroom off to the left from me.
Charles, you still there?
I'm still here. I'm still working on this.
So how many we got on? We got 11 users watching or listening or watching. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 people on. 5 people on.
Yeah. Yeah, we got quite a crew tonight.
Yeah, it's starting to take off.
Yeah, that's pretty good. I had the whole show last night.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal was. I also watched when the stream dropped on you, but I could not find the link to let me on, so I watched and
Last
listened.
night.
If
You're
you
talking
guys will join my Google Plus page, it will notify you and give you a link.
I was wondering about how we get notified. I know where to click in Stunt Hanger, but I was trying to figure out how to make Google make a noise when a group that I
Yeah, I
subscribe
couldn't figure out how to get on Google to get.
Do a search, Google Plus, and then search for Stunt Hanger. We lose everybody or what?
No, I'm still here. I was just thinking about it. I was searching for Stunt Hanger one word, but I think I needed to search for it 2 words. Stunt Hanger.
All right, with an A, H-A-N-G-A-R.
Yeah.
See, what originally happened with Stunt Hanger with an E is when I started this site, Stunt Hanger with an A was not available. Somebody owned it. So I own it now, but it doesn't link to the forum directly. It links to another page I have.
And I think when you do Google site-specific domain searches, if you search for Stunt Hanger with an A, you get less results. But and I guess that's because all of your archives are probably under the ER name instead of the AR name. I don't really know how it works, but that was what it seemed like.
We'll hinge this up tomorrow. Did you find the Google Plus page?
No, I didn't.
I'm not looking for it right now. I'll play with it later. I know where it is, I think.
I'm really going to work on that OBS studio some more, so I can run this like a television show. You know, call in television. It'll be more professional, where we can be watching videos and talking. And
yeah, I'd like to be able to take a picture and show it to everybody. You know, for instance, you know, if I'm building something, I'd like to be able to show a picture of how I did something while we're talking. I don't know if that's possible or not.
you can do that right now.
Oh, really?
And you just gotta play with the mouse. Move the mouse around, and it'll show you a place to file, upload. I don't know enough about this myself, so. Chris is the computer genius, not me.
I got thrust into the computer age when I was in the office machine business, and so I've been using computers since DOS 5.0. Went through all the iterations of Windows, and still at it. I think I've forgotten more than I knew, though.
I think when I started, it was Windows 2.0. 25 years ago.
Yeah.
I had a 386.
Yeah, that's what I had. Well, actually, yeah, I think a 386 was my first one, too, with twin floppies in the front.
I was on AOL originally, and it used to, you know, make that boing, boing noise, and then it go tick, 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 tick as the information created was slow, dial up. I had to become computer savvy for Harley-Davidson. They said, well, you're going to have to learn computers. So what for? Because all the motorcycles are going to become digital. Really?
When I was working on copy machines, I came in right at the time when the technology was going from all mechanics to electronic. And a lot of the old mechanical guys couldn't make the switch. It was tough to see. And I had just graduated from electronics school, so it was right in my wheelhouse. Man.
If I say bad boys rape our young girls, but Violet gives willingly, go get them now, what am I talking about?
That's the color code on the resistors.
There you go.
You on TV?
Yep.
Yeah, I can tell real quick if somebody knows anything about electronics if I say that. E equals I over R, I equals E divided by R. I mean, all that crap.
Blah, yep.
And I'm not an electrician. And how I know all that shit was,
Poltergeist. No.
most people know I was in the Navy. When I was in the Navy, I took my test at APES, and they said, "Huh, you scored high. We're gonna make you an aviation electronics technician." I said, "Okay, whatever." So I went to Millington, and they sat me down in a cubicle and started drilling this crap into me. You know, these mathematical problems were way over my head, and I bombed out of electronics technician school, and And I complained to the chaplain, and I ended up getting my A school as what I wanted to be as a mechanic,
Mm-hmm.
structural mechanic. But they seem to think I had the aptitude to be an electronics technician.
Yeah, my son's a scientist, but he is way farther than I ever made it. He's a chemical engineer now.
Well, the smartest math guy on our forum is going to have to be Brett Buck. He's the math genius.
Yeah, he's a real life rocket scientist.
Yeah.
Yeah, math is never my strong suit. You're telling your story about going to aircraft electronics school. The Air Force thought I could learn electronics, and I could learn that part, but the mechanics end didn't work for me. They made me a weapons mechanic, and that involved a lot of electronics, even on the 52s. And then it got real interesting on the F-15s as compared to on the actual basic electronics. I scored 92% on that.
F-15's a McDonnell Douglas machine, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yep. As far as I'm concerned, the best fighter they ever had in the inventory, too.
The F-35 might be.
I'll put my F-14 up against a 15 any day.
Believe that
You
F-35.
ain't got a radar, but your interceptor maneuverable fast with distance. I think the 15 was pretty much unmatched.
Man, you're way up. You're way up. Let me tell you something. F-14 can fly as slow as 120 knots. That's as slow as a Cessna with its wings swept forward. It'll fly as fast as Mach 2 plus, and the pilots tell me the Mach 3 has an AUG-9 radar system, track and shoot down targets, 5 targets over the horizon, and never miss. 0-0 Martin Baker backbreaker ejection seat, meaning the guy could sit on a deck of a carrier without moving and shoot himself up in the air on a rocket. I mean, F-15 is nowhere near what a 14 was. No way.
All I know is the base I was at had one purpose. We didn't have a training mission or a normal mission. Our mission in 80 and 81 into 82 was to be there purely to intercept the MiG-25s coming over.
I just found out today, my dad's going to his Navy reunion tomorrow.
Oh.
He's a World War II vet.
Yeah.
And I was looking around, and the Enterprise, I was on the Enterprise in VF1. And I was in 2 squadrons, or 3 squadrons, 124-1 and 211. But the N65 was retired because the captain, that's the Enterprise, the captain wasn't even born when the ship was commissioned. So they retired that ship, I think it was 2 years ago, along with the last sunset. There'll be a guy who's a member of our forum. He's watching us now, probably Roger, was on the sunset mission. But CVN-80, which is going to be a Ford-class carrier, which has not been, it's not finished yet, will be commissioned or, set sail 2025 USS Enterprise again. So that'll be the 5th time the Enterprise has been renamed since its commissioning.
Wow.
CVN-80, if you want to look it up on the computer. Yeah, the F-14 was a special kind of airplane, and the reason why it was done away with or decommissioned, it was the cost of maintenance was too much. We had an idiot ADJ, which is a jet mechanic, engine mechanic. We had him a 3rd class. Was he 3rd class or E3? I can't remember, E3 or 3rd class. Shot the canopy into the overhead because they were pulling a motor and they didn't pull the emergency fuel shutoff valve. And one of the chiefs said, go around and pull that handle. And the handles in the cockpit are black or yellow with black stripes for the ejection seat, for the canopy jettison, and the emergency fuel shutoff. So he just went up, reached up in there in the cockpit and grabbed the first yellow black handle he could see, because the fuel was going everywhere in the hangar bay, and shot that thing in the overhead, and that thing took like a ridiculous amount of hours to get the canopy back on it. So
I bet he heard about that.
he probably got it. Well, I don't know. You know, you hear a lot of different stories. Nothing probably happened. He probably got his ass chewed out. But what are you going to do? Mistakes happen. And Murphy's Law in the Navy was, you know, like an everyday occurrence. That somebody was always screwing something up.
It kind of worked the same way in the Air Force, too.
You know, you got yelled at, but you're not going to get a captain's mast or anything for making a stupid mistake. Now, we used to ride the ground support equipment, and we probably would have got captain's mast for that if we had got caught, but we had these huffers. And a huffer is an auxiliary air supply, and that's how you start one of these jets. Pull it up on the wagon, drop the tongue, that sets the brake, and then hook up the big air hose and you turn up the fans on the jets. Well, us mechanics figured out how we could disable the brake system and ride them, sit on top of them and ride them, you know, the jet engine. And if we'd have got caught, we'd have probably got in trouble.
Yeah, that sounds similar to the one they had in the Air Force. We had the MD-3, the power generator that on the 52s that was powered by the Continental airplane engine, but that jet-powered one is what we had in Germany. And the funny thing, that whole thing was, guess where the loudest point and the worst on the hearing on that stupid thing was? Right where you control it from.
Well, you know what I'm talking about, right? That long-looking cigar thing, it's a huffer. And
Yep.
the tongue comes down, but if you sit on top and you pull the tongue back, you can steer it. It's like riding a wagon.
Oh, jeez. That would have been interesting to see.
Can't go about
We had our fun with the aircraft towing tractors in South Dakota.
Yeah, we played crash cars with the GSE. You know. I've seen 100 mile. You ever seen a 100-mile-an-hour toolbox?
No.
I don't think I want to.
The Navy, if you look at my toolbox that's in the garage, it's set up just like a toolbox from the service, because it's real efficient. Everything has its place. Everything has a station. If you're missing something, you know what's missing and you know you can find it. So I've always been that way as far as my mechanics tools go. You never know it by my shop here. It's a disaster. But those toolboxes were Snap-on. We had all Snap-on tools in the Navy, and they had a certain lifespan. So the wrenches would be used, I don't know how many hours, but let's say 1,000 hours, and then they trade them into Snap-ons and get new ones. Well, I ended up with a lot of Snap-on tools out of the tool bin out of that, because instead of getting them recycled, they went into my car when I was stationed at Miramar. But what was I going to say? Oh, 100-mile-an-hour toolbox. If they don't set the brakes and the jet is taxiing down the tarmac and it's coming into where they're going to tie it down, and they turn, and when they turn the airplane, they throttle up so they can turn. The jet blast throws the hits the toolbox, and it'll skid across the deck like you can't believe, 100 mile an hour.
Yeah, that's understandable. I once got myself in Germany in the wrong position when they were parking a 15 to turn around. That's a heck of a breeze comes off the back of that.
It's pretty windy. Yeah.
How how wide do you go with your gears generally?
How wide for my gears? The ones on my on the Junar. Let me look here. I think they're 15.
Oh,
What are yours?
mine were 18, but I want to. The easiest way to do this one, the one I'm building now, is to go to 20, and I think that's too wide.
I think. Well, my Continental. Let me measure that one real quick, and I'll see what those are. The longer ruler.
Yeah, I don't know if I can go that far.
Okay, my classic Continental are 21.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, but now I'm going to tell you what Ron told me, and it makes a lot of sense. When you start spanning the weight out from the center of gravity, it's kind of like unsprung weight on a car. You don't want to stretch that shit out because once you get it turning, it'll keep swaying. So try to keep everything in close. But you should be able to put those gear in at 15, can't you?
I could. I just got to remake a rib.
Yeah, I don't think I'd span them out that far.
Guys, I'm gonna call it a night. I enjoyed it, and I will check back in with you at a later time.
All right, buddy, you have a good one.
All right, you too. Take it easy.
Take care,
Bye.
Rusty.
Good one, Rusty. Glad I finally got to talk to you, not just watch you.
Yeah, me too. All right, good
Next
night.
time.
Yeah, I
What-
can go into 17.
What are the plans called for?
I don't know.
Well, you're building. You're supposed to be building what his original was.
Yeah, I went and measured everything, but I didn't measure the gear width. I got really good measurements. His is at the yellow Junar CG is at 17 and 7 or 7 and 7/8.
Don't you have Junar plans?
What?
Don't you have a set of Junar plans?
Yeah, I don't trust him. I don't trust any of Billy's plans. I go and I look at the plans, and then I go and measure the airplanes, and they're nothing like him.
Oh, I know that for sure, because like my Thunderbolts are nothing like my Thunderbolts are like Billy's Thunderbolt, and the plans are nothing like my airplane.
Yeah. I guess I could just make 2 more L, make an L3.
That's interesting.
Well, I guess it doesn't really matter. I could just make a really short, really small gear door. No, I'll just make a rib.
Well, I think I'm going to have to call it a night. My computer's trying to freeze up. Or something.
All right. Well, I think I'm only going to do this Monday, Wednesday, and Friday from now on.
Sounds good to me.
All right. We'll see you on Wednesday.
Yeah.
It sounds good to me too.
I don't know where did my cursor go.
I'm still working on this camera. I'm trying to find the driver for the camera.
Well, I'm still here. I'll be here till everybody gives up, I guess.
Alrighty.
Or 11 o'clock, whatever comes first.
Keep doing that.
Dang it.
Well, what else?
Alright. I'm going to make new ribs.
Yeah, you better do it the right way, or else you'll be kicking yourself in the ass.
I got out the ruler and measured all this, and I just must have measured the wrong. I just must have been one bay off, one half rib off. Because I don't mind it being 18, but man, 19 sure seemed like it was out there. Especially when this is only a 58-inch wingspan.
Right, and that's the one with the 1 3/4 inch tip, right?
Yeah, really small. No, I went out there and looked at everything real good, and got really good understanding of what he's doing. The only change I'm gonna make is I'm gonna do an inline stab, I think.
I wouldn't, but up to you.
And
You're gonna,
he talked me.
you're gonna, huh?
He talked me into it,
Who?
Bill.
Inline motor too?
What?
Everything inline, engine?
No, not the motor.
Oh, I wanted to ask you, how far behind the center of gravity are your lead outs? Just an approximation. Comments? You get on? Kinda. You kinda see him.
The rear, the back lead out is 6 1/4 from the trailing edge. If you take a ruler and extend it, the trailing edge out, and then measure back. The first lead out that you hit is 6 1/4.
I gotta move mine way back, and I'll do that field. I gotta go back to the last hole to get them back that far.
Wow.
I don't normally run my stuff that far back, but
Yeah, I mean, that's where it measured.
I think I'll do a schedule, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 9 o'clock. It's too hard to do these every night.
Boy, work.
What's that?
A lot of work.
Yeah, I need to do more sanding and less talking.
What are you working on right now? That Continental you're headed to finish for somebody?
Yeah, this is the Continental I want to have done by the end of the month here. In order for me to do that, I got to get pumping. I got all the parts done. All I got to do is kind of knock them together. Dan showed up yesterday and gave me the push rod for it. So, have you tried this new push rod? Chris?
The bow crank or the push rod?
The push rod. This push rod is carbon, but it's 1/8 inch.
Wow, that doesn't look very stiff by what you're doing.
Plenty stiff.
Well, show me it. That doesn't look, you were like flexing that thing like crazy.
Yeah, but I'm really pushing on it too. This is stronger than 1/8 inch piano wire. I'll show you 1/8 inch piano wire. Come on, I know I got a longer piece than that.
Don't worry about it, I trust you.
I'll show you. There we go. Now this ain't a 3-foot piece, but it's about this. It's a little shorter than this, but watch this. See, this is the carbon, and this is the 1/8 inch wire. So it's stronger than 1/8 inch piano wire. That ought to be strong enough for a push rod, don't you think?
Yeah, I've always used carbon. You gotta remember, I came in at the end of this whole control line thing. I'll have to trust you that 1/8 inch wire is good.
1/8 inch wire is good enough for your landing gear. I'm looking for some titanium welding rods so I can make landing gear out of titanium. Landing gear have always been a contention to me. They're always 3 ounces.
Well, if you find any titanium and make them, let me know.
I know I can find it. Just go to the welding shop and buy some. Well, here we go. We got this. I had to remake him a new elevator because that other one, the little tip broke off the end, and I didn't feel it was. It's going to get broke off, you know, as he plays with it. But I want to deliver it to him with a 1 piece. I broke mine off at Rodax already.
Well, I can't. I gotta turn this off because I'm streaming from my, my AT&T cell phone. So I gotta.
All right. Well, I'll be on Wednesday.
All right. I gotta figure out how to fix my internet out here. When they replaced my line to the house, they broke my Ethernet cable that I had running out here. So until I get the gumption to redo it, I'm kind of hosed out here.
Yeah, no, that's why your stream is not very good.
Yeah.
So 6 1/4 from the leading edge to the first lead out, right?
The back lead out. Yeah, the back lead out, whatever that one is, and then the other one's like, a hole in front of it or whatever, like every other hole. All right.
All right. See you Wednesday.
See ya.
Bye. So Charles, are you still on there?
I'm still here, Sparky.
I think I'm going to wrap it up. It's 10:30. We'll be back Wednesday night. Maybe you can figure it out by then. And
Yeah, I hope to. I didn't realize I had a problem with my camera until now, so
well, that's
never had a use for it until now.
But you know, I think this is, especially during the winter, I think this is going to be a good, you know, useful tool so that we can all kind of hang out together or whatever.
Yeah, I like it. I look forward to. Yeah, I'm not working on a plane at this moment, but I need to get it set up so I can work on my plane and be part of the hangout. And I think that's good to be able to, like working with someone in your shop, basically.
Right. You know, and I don't have all the answers, but I pretty much know what's going on.
Well, I was really impressed that you started the that Junar July 17th.
Yeah.
Is that right? And then
Yeah.
you finished it September what?
Whatever. Well, let's see. This was. Let me look here. Finished it. Come on. I finished it the 9th of September.
Well, that's amazing because you know I started completing this Strega ARF. I'm doing some modifications to it, but still, I'm not done. And here it is. You built the plane from scratch, painted it, and did one rub out, and I hadn't even finished my Strega ARF. Now I'm married with 3 young kids and a wife, and I work. And but I'm still very impressed that you could do all that in that short a time.
Well, all those things that you mentioned require quite a bit of time. So, you know, I don't have all those things, so I can kind of devote my time doing this. But also in my job, I was a flat rate mechanic, and I know that each job takes X amount of time. You know, there's no need for each job to take a week, you know, so.
Right.
And I'm kind of guilty of, you know, I do things on the TLAR method. That looks about right. And then I also do, that's close enough for who it's for, you know, so it doesn't have to be 100% perfect because nobody's going to. Like when I did appearance judging at the Nats, there are no perfect airplanes. It's just impossible. So why try? You know, if you can get 18 or 19 points, that's plenty good. There's no need to try to go after that extra point and knock yourself to death for a 20-pointer. So, and I, you know, do things proficiently. I built a 11-day Aries and won the Spirit of 62 award. I think that build, we probably lost it in the forum crash, but it was on the forum. 11 days from start to in the air.
That is amazing. That is amazing.
But that's 200 hours. I mean, I probably work, you know, 20 hours a day on a damn thing.
Well, that goes to your stamina because you know we all get tired, and so that's still pretty impressive. You could have the discipline to continue on, you know, beyond being tired.
Well, when I was in the Navy, I like to compare things to the Navy and on the flight line. When you're on the ship, the job is 24 hours a day. You know, they only guarantee you 1 hour of sleep a day. So if you got ops going on, you just run until it's done, you know. So whatever. But I learned a lot of that from the Navy. But I'm getting old now, and I don't have the stamina that I did when I was 17.
Yeah, who does?
How old are you, Charles?
58.
Yeah. Wait till you see about another. I'm not quite 10 years older than you, but 8 years. So wait for another 8 years and see how you feel.
Wow. Well, I hope to. I'm in pretty good health, and I don't exercise except for flying planes. You know, flying heavy planes is my exercise.
Well, at least you're not doing 12-ounce curls.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
And
So I hope to.
I used to do those 12-ounce curls.
And that's another thing that I think is pretty impressive. That you overcame that. That is not easy, and that's great. I really admire that.
That's another thing I can blame on the Navy. When I was in the Navy, we had these Coke machines in the barracks, and they were called D-Dunk machines. And for a dime, you could get a can of Budweiser any time of the day out of that Coke machine.
Wow.
So I was always plastered on base. We were on shore.
Wow.
The
Yeah, at a
Navy,
dime.
for a dime, yeah. The Navy kind of had its hand in my alcoholism too, but I finally realized that enough. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired 26 years ago, and said, this is it. I can't do it anymore. And if I wouldn't have quit, I wouldn't be here. I'll guarantee you that.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. It's the accumulation of it is horrific on the body.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Not so much that is my attitude. I was totally insane. I'm not a real pleasant drunk. And when you're my size, you just can't fight guys that are 7 foot tall. I don't care what they say. I'm a little guy. So I wouldn't have lasted another 5 years drinking, I don't think.
Well, I'm glad that you got sick and tired of being sick and tired. And I'm sure those loved ones around you feel the same way.
Well, I'll probably last I probably gotta go at least another 20 so I can build another, let's see, I have 4 airplanes to about another 80 or 100 airplanes to go.
Wow. Well, in my closet right now, I have a Sig Chickmunk. I have a Brodak United. I have a Brodak Smoothie. I have a what's that? Jetco Shark 45. I have a bunch of kits that I'm sure I can't remember right now to build. So I'm hoping to get busy on these planes. Oh, I also hope to build a Thunder Gazer for next year. And
You better get busy on that then.
yeah, I know I got to get busy on this. This Strega is hopefully just going to tie me over while I'm building the Thunder Gazer, so I won't feel pressured to hurry, and take shortcuts.
You figure that the wing should take a week to put together. 4 weeks tops, and you should have the airplane on its wheels. If you get busy and do it. Just set your goal at, well, I'm going to build the wing this week, I'm going to build the fuselage next week, and in the 3rd week, I'll build the elevator, stabilizer, and rudder, and on the 4th week, I'll put it together.
That sounds reasonable. I'm looking forward to doing it. I actually have been flying ARFs for the last 3 years, and they've been good to me. They've actually helped me learn the stunt pattern. So I just started competing 3 years ago as a beginner, and I've had ARFs all the way up. Now I'm flying in advance, and I'm pretty competitive, and it's all because I've been able to do a lot of flying because I'm not spending my time building planes.
Yeah, that's my problem. I'm going to try one more time to make the cut at the Nats in Open next year. And if I don't make the cut next year, I give up. But I'm going to seriously try to put in the time. The good flight is at the bottom of the fuel can. And my problem is that I'll go out to the parking lot and fly. The year that in 07, when I almost made it, when I got beat out by a third of a point, which is just like nothing. I had really practiced.
Yeah, but I heard you. I think it was last night. He's explaining how it's 25 miles to where you fly at. You know, that's like 3 gallons or 6 gallons of gas. You said. I mean, that's
No.
unlike you. My flying field is less than 15 minutes away. You know, and so
25 miles to the field is a gallon of gasoline each way. And if you go out and you burn a gallon of fuel, every day, let's say a gallon of fuel, that's $20 plus $6, $26 a day. I don't have that kind of money. And that's only a gallon. Some of them guys go out and burn 3 and 4 gallons a day.
yeah, that's a lot. Yeah. I feel very blessed and fortunate that I've been able to practice a lot, and I've had a few people helping me too, which is great. I have an expert pilot in Dave Sabon, who helps me from time to time, and Bob Brooks, and so I'm getting some help coaching, and then I have the opportunity to fly at least twice a week.
Yeah, you probably could beat me right now.
I don't know.
I went out and flew this thing. And the first flight, I did everything except for the reverse wing over. And on the second flight, I put in 5 patterns. But that's 5 flights that I've had all year.
Wow. Yeah. That definitely will slow you down, but at least you have good airplanes, I mean, that Junar looks magnificent. And that weight, I can't imagine. I've never flown a plane that light. My lightest plane right now is 57 ounces, and that's a Nobler ARF, which is heavy. So all my planes are heavy, and of course that's going to affect their performance.
A Nobler should be 37 to 40 ounces.
Yeah, I know it's heavy. That's what I'm saying earlier about the friend who was teasing me about my handshake.
Yeah.
I'm always flying heavy airplanes, so I have a strong handshake.
Well, I got a pretty strong handshake too, remember?
Yes, yeah.
That's for mechanic.
Yes, that's right.
But
yeah.
Well, I like having this thing on my TV. I can watch my TV instead of the computer screen. I took in some balsa dust down my throat. Wow.
Just watching you, yeah. Hope you feel better.
I'll be all right. I mean, I've been doing this so long, it don't much matter.
Yeah.
I don't know if you watched me clear the airplane. You're supposed to wear a mask. Well, just don't breathe the fumes. Put your nose down. Don't spray it in your face.
Right.
And I'm only using a little airbrush, and I didn't do much. So I've done that all my life, and I ain't dead yet. I figure. They said, well, each cigarette you smoke cut off, so many minutes off your life. Well, I should be dead by now then, because I used to smoke 2 packs a day for 30 years. That's a lot of cigarettes.
That is a lot of cigarettes. Yeah. Everybody's time is appointed, so.
That's my next vice to quit. I've already quit smoking 4 years ago, but I'm going to drop this here in the next probably year. As soon as they raise the tax or it costs too much, it costs me $12 a month to do this.
Okay.
The minute that I got to spend $12 a week or some stupid crap like that for taxes, just forget it.
Right.
I'm just hanging it. That's what happened with cigarettes. That's why I said, you know what? This is BS. $7 a pack times 2, that's $14 a day. I can't do this anymore. And I just said, well, we'll try something else. And I picked up that.
Yeah, that money could be spent on butyrate thinner, or as expensive as our products are.
2 days of smoking buys a gallon of thinner.
Yes. Yeah, I'd rather get some thinner.
Yeah, me too. I gotta buy another gallon of white and another gallon of thinner because I already went through that. And I got some more airplanes to paint. I got plenty of colored dope, but no white. So I got 2 gallons of clear. I'm kind of out of thinner. That thinner, like I say, and what really gets you is the hazmat charge.
Yes. I really haven't started painting yet, but I'm all set up. I have basically some inexpensive guns from Harbor Freight and the compressor, and got the dryer and cleaner filters, and I have some colors and some whites and dope. So hopefully with the Thunder Gazer next year, I'll probably start painting that plane to be my kind of introduction to painting planes.
Well, you live in there in California. Where do they sell dope there or not?
Yeah, I can get from Aircraft Spruce.
Okay.
Yeah, I can get it from there, and of course I can get on the internet. I just ordered from Brodak as well.
When you order from Aircraft Spruce, make sure that you tell them that you're a member of Stunt Hanger and you saw their ad on Stunt Hanger.
Okay.
Because I give them a, well, I don't give it, but they have an ad every year. And this year I gave them a space down in the vendor's corner, which they didn't have it utilized yet, but I gave them a second ad today, as a matter of fact. So I deal with them people, and see, you're on the left coast, and I'm here in the middle of the country, so I just deal with Wicks, which is, 25 miles from here. If I wanted to, I could go pick it up myself. And depending on the order size, if I'm going to order more than a gallon of anything, I'll go get it myself because they want to, double charge you for that stupid hazmat fee, depending on the box. And I just go get it. But if it's only a gallon, it's not worth the $15.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, it's more expensive to have it shipped than to go drive and get it.
So that's what I do. But I buy from Wicks.
Yeah, I see the Wix banner on the forum all the time.
You order from Wicks, make sure you tell them you saw them on Stunt Hanger, because that's how I I don't make any money on Stunt Hanger. It costs me money.
Well, I know that I'm with everybody else. We really appreciate your effort.
Yeah, I'm glad. I mean, I'm hoping to just hang on another year. We got the server paid for again. I used to give a kit away a month, but now that the server cost has gone up so high, I can't do it.
Yeah. I'm hoping to have this Strega done by next week with my work schedule and everything, so I can start flying that. I'm putting a Stalker 81 in there, our rear exhaust, and hoping to throw a 14.5, 14.6 prop on there.
Why are you wrapped up in the Windy Ferry of Briggs & Stratton engines?
Well, actually, I just want to try I just want to try it. I want to see what it's like.
Well, let's talk. It's easier now with this than it is me typing it out on the computer. But let's talk a little theory behind this. When you put out that 16 ounces of dead mass on the nose, and the center of gravity is back here, it's kind of hard to get it to move. So if you can get an engine that's 13 ounces, that's better, and 10 is even better, so it'll turn a lot easier and quicker. I hate all that all that concentrated weight in the nose.
Well, you know, I think the stalker does weigh about 13.5 ounces.
The 81,
Yeah. It's a
Yeah.
pretty light motor. And in fact, the rear exhaust, it actually puts, you know, the weight of the mufflers in the back. So you don't have it up front like you would in the side exhaust. So that's kind of what I thought would be kind of attractive, is that it's not that heavy of a motor.
well, I mean, 13 ounces is about what a Super Tiger 60 weighs. And about what a PA 75 weighs. But if you got to go to something like, I got a 4-stroke Sato 72 that weighs 16 ounces.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty heavy.
And then you got Windy, he's got that 90, Rojet 90, I think that weighs 22 ounces. I mean, that's
Wow.
That's ridiculous.
Wow. I didn't know it weighed that much.
I think it was 22 ounces. Whatever it was very, I go, really? Yeah, pretty heavy.
Wow, that is heavy. Yeah, so I'm hoping to find out what it's like.
Well, we've been running this stream 2 hours. I'm going to shut her down. We'll see.
All righty. That sounds good. I'll look forward to hooking up with you again Wednesday. Now, what time do you start on
9 o'clock Central Standard Time. So that'd be about 6 o'clock your time.
Okay.
That'll be 7 o'clock your time.
All right. Well, I will hopefully have the camera fixed by then, and everybody else can see me, and look forward to it. I know you do. It was a pleasure meeting you at the Brodax, and it's neat because now when I see you on the videos, I tell my kids I met him. I met him at Brodax.
Well, they think I'm a big movie star. I'm real famous in Korea. Do you believe that?
I believe it. I mean, it's it amazes me that people aren't more, interested in what we do. It just blows me away. I think it's the best thing there is. There's so many crossover skills. You have to be able to solder. You have to be able to bend metal. You have to be able to sand and paint and cut. I use all kinds of tools. I use my bandsaw so much. My bandsaw, my drill press, and of course sanding. And
the problem is exposure. When I was a kid, when you were a kid, your dad showed you this is what we did as kids. Well, now first off, there's no dads in the home.
That's right.
Second off, the kids of today, they say, you have to make it? No, I want it now. Well, if you want this, there's no way to get it other than make it. And I'll show you how to make it. So this is what I did with Stunt Hanger to try to give some of the younger guys some incentive. You really need, and I'm not talking to you, Charles, because you've seen my models. You really need to see my models in person and go, wow. And just to figure out, I started with a pile of wood that's creating something from within me or within yourself into something that you can use. And that's what the satisfaction is in control line.
Exactly. That is, and I, right now I'm just flying these planes. But hopefully in the future I'll be able to build something really beautiful from scratch. Like kind of what you do. Hope to do that with the Thunder Gazer and make something I'm proud of.
Right. These are works of art, and RC. People say, well, it's not radio control. Well, you're right. It's not radio control, but they're not made of foam, and they don't have monocoat on them. These are all hand rubbed, silk, dope, silk span, paper, airplane. So this is how they did this type of material back in the 30s and 40s. This is, old school stuff that if I don't pass it on, what I know or whatever, it's going to be lost. And when we're gone, that's it. It's done.
Yeah, I agree. And I'm also very interested in helping get my kids flying, and maybe get some play dates with their friends, and try to get this thing going in that way. So that's what my plan is.
Well, you know, another part of the problem is why we're becoming extinct is what Donald Trump talks about, you know, the bureaucracy. The guy can start his lawnmower at 6 o'clock on Sunday morning and run it for 2 hours in my backyard, or back, hear that noise, but you can't start a model airplane up and run it for 6 minutes.
Yeah.
And which is totally ridiculous. You can't fly in the schoolyard. When I was a kid, you could hear an engine start up in the schoolyard. We'd jump on our bicycle and ride down there to see what's going on. Well, there isn't that anymore. We're out in the middle of nowhere, 25 miles away, because somebody's afraid that the airplane's going to come off the string, which it won't, and somebody's going to get hurt. Well, if you get hurt, if you're that stupid, you deserve it. Plain and simple.
That's true.
When I was a kid, we didn't have elbow pads to ride your bicycle. We didn't have helmets to ride bicycles. They didn't have seatbelts in cars until about 1970. Hey, and I'm still here. They had lead in paint. You don't eat the paint. They had chlorine dust, killed rats, roaches, kids, whatever. Just don't eat the poison. And, it's common sense. And they don't teach that anymore.
No. No, that is so funny. I know you see a kid today on a bicycle, and he just has elbow pads, shin pads, gloves. Just like, and then you try to tell that same kid to start a glow engine, and they're scared. Where I didn't think anything of it as a kid to flip a motor. I started flying. I think I must have been around the 7th grade, to be my guess. And I saw a guy in the Navy, actually. Went to the recreation center, and there was a guy that I met. His name is Shelby Hagberg, and he was a Navy guy, and he happened to be really nice and kind and help me get started. And that's how I got my start.
Kids of today are more or less coddled. When I was a kid, I think I was about 4 or 5 years old, and I remember doing it because I remember the color of the wall. I stuck a bobby pin in a wall socket. And when you're a kid, you will only do that one time.
That's right.
And if you're smart enough to realize not to do that again, you're probably smart enough not to get your fingers cut off with a saw or something. You go, wow, that's not real brilliant. So, but today, I don't know. The kids are just a lot different. When I was in school, as a senior in high school, I had 5 shop periods. Auto shop, metal shop, wood shop, drafting. Then we went to physical education and back to auto shop and then go home. Today, they don't even have that. They're afraid somebody's going to get hurt. And I gotta tell you, this is my belief. If you get hurt because of your own stupidity, you deserve it. That's just the way it is. Perfect example. Ken Pasco, we were down at Willowwood Junior High School flying airplanes. So we're down there in the field. He decides he wants to see what an airplane would look like if he let go of the handle. So he's flying his Cobra, and he let go of the handle, and that airplane went up, and the handle and the airplane went around and around till it ran out of fuel, and then it came, crashing down to the ground really at a quick rate. Well, the lines got hung up in the high tension lines, and it came down, and the airplane went, around like that, and then crashed into the curb. And Ken ran up to those wires, to 16,000th wires, and grabbed onto the wire, and he went, ooh, hot! And it went pow down, and the wires fell down. Pretty soon, these guys, electrician guys, high tension workers, electric company workers, run up and asked him, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" We go, okay, for what? He didn't realize, it's 40,000 volts, and he's holding on to that wire. Well, two things saved him. Three things saved him. One, he had tennis shoes on, so he had good insulation. Two, that wire was only 16 thousandths thick, so the resistance burned out, fairly quick. And three, it was just a second, it was just hot, and it wasn't.
Right.
He didn't hold
Right.
on to it.
Right.
So I will guarantee you, Ken Pasco, and if you're listening, Ken, I haven't seen you in 40 years or 50 years. I'll guarantee you never did that again.
Never. Yes. And when I was a kid, I went to the boys club, and they had a wood shop in there, and they had everything. I remember I had access to everything. I mean, they had, band saws, table saws. I remember a wooden lathe. I had access. Matter of fact, I was boy of the year in wood shop, but I had access to all those tools. I mean, there was a shop superintendent or shop manager, but basically, like you talk about, just common sense. I don't remember any boys getting hurt in there, but
we learned how to sand cast and how to, metal forge in metal shop and all that stuff. They don't teach that in school anymore. Nothing.
Yeah.
They don't even teach English. They don't teach cursive writing. They don't teach English. If you look at their Common Core math, I posted it on my Twitter page. They don't subtract like we used to do. They don't do 3 from 100 is 97. They count up, which is totally asinine. It's about 20 moves to get the same answer that I told you in 1/10 of a second.